So when I was a trainer with Maverick Transportation, I was training over there for about a year and a half. It was like right at a year and 6 months, and that year and 6 months, I had like 11 students, a lot. And I usually kept my students between 3 and 5 weeks. I had one student that stayed like 8 weeks, and he still couldn't back a truck even after 8 weeks being on my truck. Everywhere we'd go, we start backing. But anyways, I had my very first student. We'll start with him. He got on my truck, and everything was great. The dude could back, secure loads. He could do it all. This guy was, it was a great experience, practically from day one. And then it was his third week, last week, and then I was just like, he's done. He's great. And we got him back to the terminal so he can eval out and get his own truck. Well, we got back to the terminal, and he goes, let me stay one more week. And I was like, all right, we'll do one more week. And so I went in there, told Kurt and Marty, like, hey, student wants one more week, so we'll do one more week, I guess, if that's okay. They're like, yeah, that's fine. And so we head back out, and it was a home load that they gave me out of Arkansas. Nucor Yamato, going down to Dublin, Georgia. So we're making our way down there, and I notice he's really, really quiet, not like he's just kind of looking down on his phone, really quiet. And I can tell by his like his face and his body language, that something wasn't okay with him. Something wasn't right. Something was deeply bothering him. So I was like, hey man, when we get over here to this rest area, we'll swap out and I'll let you finish this up the rest of the way. He goes, no, I'm done driving. All right, done driving. Now he's a Jamaican guy. So he goes, no, I'm done driving. And I was like, all right, well, you're done driving. Well, okay. And so we get to this rest area, and he decides that he wants to go back to Little Rock to eval out. So I call up Marty, and Marty's like, man, y'all were just here. And I was like, I know. The dude just flipped script for whatever reason. So he turns around, and Marty's like, all right, well, I'll get him a bus ticket back to Little Rock. And so Marty calls the guy on his phone to tell him that, and the guy is not happy. He wants a rental car. He does not want a bus ticket. So we turn around, and he freaking loses his stuff. Like, he's just ridiculous, cussing Marty out, cussing me out, like I had something to do with it. Like, I don't get to choose whether you get a bus, or you get to choose a bus or a rental car. That has nothing to do with me. Only thing my shirt said at the time was driver instructor. That is it. So anyway, he turns around. He's calling Marty racist. Apparently I'm racist for whatever reason. Apparently I had something to do with it, didn't like it, and all of a sudden I did not like Jamaican people. And I was like, I don't know how I got caught up in all this, but okay. And so Marty's like, he calls after he got done going on this tire, like he is like punching the steering wheel of the truck and all kinds of stuff, like screaming at this rest area, like just ridiculous. And so we get to what happened? Anyway, we start driving again. Marty calls me up after he calms down eventually, and so I start driving us so that I can go home, because I don't know what the hell that fool's gonna do. Like, I just want him out the truck. Just hurry up and let me get home. And so I'm sitting there driving home, and Marty calls me up. He goes, just put him in a hotel room tonight. We're gonna figure things out on Monday morning. He goes, let's not make any decisions right now. I said, all right, that's cool with me. So I'm a really laid back person, really, really laid back. There's not a whole lot that gets to me. I don't get really overly excited about things. So I'm like, I'm cool with it. So we get down to we get down the road a bit. We're starting to go around Atlanta, and he tells me he's sorry, he apologizes, all this good stuff, and then he starts telling me about how basically his wife left him, and how there's nobody at home and nothing like that. She's down in like Miami or something like that. So that got the wheels in my head turning, thinking like that's the reason why he wanted a rental car, because I knew they only had one vehicle. She took that thing down to Florida, left him with nothing, and so he really wanted a rental car so he can go down to Miami and take her back. There's a little bit of backstory to this story. So after I picked him up, I sat there. Me and him was driving, just getting to know each other. That was like the first day one or something like that, and we started talking about our families. I was like, "Yeah, I got two kids. They're like they're step kids, but they're mine. I love them." And he was like, "Yeah." He goes, what he said? He said, "Yeah." I was asked him if he had any kids of his own. He said no. I said, "All right." I was like, "How long were you have been married?" He's been married for like 15 years to this woman. And he's like, I'm like, "All right." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "My wife's kids, they live with them." I was like, "All right, how many kids does she have?" She's like, five. Five kids. All right. He said, I was like, they're all grown now? He goes, no. He goes, the oldest one's 15. The youngest one was like 2. 5 kids. They're all hers. He has no kids of his own. They've been married for 15 years. So once he told me all that, everything started like floating around in my head, and I was like, I got to change the subject. I do not want to know anything more about this guy's private life. Like, apparently there's some issues going on, and I don't need to open up that can of worms. So I steered the subject to something else. But yeah, it's like So I imagine she ran down to Miami with some other dude, and yeah, poor guy. But anyway, they ended up letting the dude go, and that was the end of it. When he went off on us, he went off on us badly. He apologized to me and Marty, and I have to give him that. And hopefully he's doing well. I have no hard feelings towards the dude. He didn't do nothing to me personally, and so I have no hard feelings for him. It's a messed up situation, man. Yep. I got some more interesting stories. But back on my training days, I ain't going to go into all my former students, but I'll pick and choose a few.